Afternoon Express, we always encourage you to take your health more seriously. And a good way to do this is learning how to read food labels. Here to help us understand this better is food consultant Heleen Meyer. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Thank you very much for having me.
I have to say I'm really excited about this segment because I often feel silly and not knowledgeable enough when it comes to food labels. So I'm really excited that you are going to be highlighting everything for us. Tell us about food labels and why they're so important. What's the purpose?
So that we know what we are eating.
Yes.
And if we want to eat healthier, it's very important to understand what is inside that box or tin or packet or bottle or whatever it is that carries the label. Because unfortunately, there are a lot of hidden ingredients that we're not aware of. Typically, things that one should look out for is the salt content, the sugar content, the fat content, and what kind of fat is inside. So it really helps us to make better choices.
So when you say hidden ingredients, are the hidden ingredients labeled or are they not? Like, are all ingredients labeled?
They should be.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the legislation around that in South Africa is not as strict as it should be.
Okay.
But most labels need to have at least one of two aspects. The one is your list of ingredients.
Okay. So
if you look at that as an example. So if you look at the ingredients, they are typically listed, or they should be listed from the highest to the lowest value in that product.
Okay.
The nutritional table needs to give you some information around the protein, the fiber, but this is typically the part where people get stuck because very few people understand what 10 milligrams of something mean.
Explain it to us, Explain it to us.
So my first tip is to look at your list of ingredients.
Okay.
Say, for instance, you compare this to this one, if you can hold that for us.
Okay.
This looks like a pasta label to me. This is a sugary drink.
Okay.
So I always say to people, if you can't pronounce what's on that list, don't eat or drink it.
Okay. If you can't pronounce it, don't eat or drink it.
So you can see that there's very few ingredients here, but a very long list over here.
Is that a red flag?
Well, if you start reading, some of them are going to be like, what is this? So I would say the first three. This is carbonated water. Okay, not bad. Inverted cane sugar. That's exactly where I'm going to say, okay, if that's the second ingredient in this product, maybe I should reconsider and look for something else. I always say to people, look at this holistically so that you look at all the elements. If you need to avoid sugar, then obviously you're going to focus on the sugar.
Yes.
But it's almost more important to look at your list and understand what's in there. The grammage or the milliliters only makes sense if you have the full context of how much it should be. So if you haven't got that information, then the list at least starts. If I look at this, there's durum, wheat, and semolina. There's no salt added, there's no fat added. So already I can see that this product provides me with certain elements, but there's no nasties added.
Yes, yes.
And that's one of the things that the label needs to help us with.
So, Heleen, I know a big thing is calories. Speak to me about calories. How do we understand that, and what is this in front of me? I know that these are portions, but speak to me in relation to portions and calories.
Kilojoules or calories.
What is the difference?
The one is just the American term. Yeah, Americans use the word calories. In South Africa, we refer to kilojoules. But because we've got so many imported products often, we need to understand that there's a difference between the value of the two, but it relates to the same thing. In other words, the nutritional value of the product specifically related to the carbohydrates and the sugars in there.
Okay.
So if you want to look at the calories, then you also need to look at the amount of fat and starches and sugars in the product.
Okay.
So if we compare that to portions to give you an idea, this is 60 mils of raw oats, which is a quarter of a cup, which is the recommended portion for an adult.
A serving,
Yes, a serving. That in its box contains the oats.
Yes.
The moment you go to flavored oats, then like a banana flavor or a chocolate flavor or a strawberry flavor,
it's no longer that. It's no. Yes,
so then your list of ingredients are going to become longer.
Okay.
So if you then stick to the more natural version, then you don't have all those things. I can add salt to this a little bit.
Yourself.
But this is the cooked portion of that. And what I now add determines how healthy it is.
Okay.
But in the boxed cereal, for instance, if you compare oats to boxed cereals, that has all sorts of interesting things added to it. You can sometimes get the equivalent of 5 teaspoons of sugar in a portion of pre-prepared instant cereal before you've even added a teaspoon with your milk.
Okay.
And the only way to know that is to read the label. That is 8 teaspoons of sugar. That's what is in one portion of this drink, 355 milliliters.
8 teaspoons.
8 teaspoons of sugar.
Sure.
So if you look at the rest, there's no fat, there's sodium in it, which is salt. There's quite a lot of sugar. There's no protein. So this drink is only giving you sugar.
Thank you for educating me. In other words, eat what you understand.
Yes.
Thank you, Heleen. We encourage you to take a few extra minutes when you go shopping and look at the food labels to make sure that you know exactly what you want from the food that you are going to be consuming.